I hope that you have downloaded this Anaconda on your systems. Okay, so if you have to your Windows and just type over here Jupyter. I'm waiting for you to do this along with me.
Do you see this? If you have installed it correctly, you should ideally see Jupyter Notebook in your start button. Do you see this? If you have seen this and if you have clicked it, thumbs up, please. We are going to have a lot of thumbs up today. Yeah, Sriram got it. Very beautiful, boss. Jennifer ma'am also has got it. Nice. Sankareshwari, Padmavati. Yes, others. Anyone having a problem here? Anyone who is not able to see Jupyter Notebook? That means you have to install Anaconda correctly. If you have installed Anaconda correctly, you should be able to see Jupyter Notebook. Awesome. I'm able to see most of the thumbs going up. Yeah. Good. Back to you, Alti. Continue, please.
Yeah. And then you just have to open it. Click open. And then you will find some screen like this would pop up. Just wait for some time till you are taken to this screen. So basically Jupyter, there's this local host which on your browser. So you can see that I'm using Google Chrome. So this page, this local host would open up in my browser only. So I'm waiting for you all to come to this page. This is basically the home page for Jupyter. Am I audible?
Yes, Aditi, you are audible. Yeah.
Yeah. Sir, just a request to you. I'm not able to see the reactions by the students. So can you help me on that? Like,
I'll do
if
that.
we
I'll do
have
that, Aditi. Yes.
sufficient amount of, yeah, so that I can proceed.
Sure. Good. I think all of you have reached up to this stage, I guess. Opening the Jupyter Notebook to this screen. Anyone not reached till this stage? Anyone needs time to come to this level? Let's work together as a team and progress together as a team. So let us know if somebody is lagging behind. Okay, Aishwarya, take a moment. We'll wait for you. Once you're done, just let us know. If you need any help, please let us know. Others, anyone else facing challenge? Sankareshwari, I think the noise is not there now. Hope it's fine for you now. So Aishwarya, have you reached? We're all waiting for you. No worries. Take a minute. Okay, in the meantime, I request other participants to download this particular app, Kahoot. Most of my students will know this. So this particular app, please download it. We are going to have an online quiz at the end of every day to quickly recap whatever we have discussed in that particular session. Okay. So please download Kahoot and keep it in your mobile. Okay, Aishwarya is ready. So I hope all of us have reached this stage. So yes, back to you, Alti.
Yeah. So this is the home page for Jupyter Notebook. So you can see here that all of these are the folders that are visible, and also like creating files, then your files would also be appearing over here. Okay, so this is basically the index kind of a thing, wherein you can browse whichever folder you want to open up, and whichever so that is known as Jupyter Notebook. Okay, so these are all the notebooks. Now let us understand a few things over here. So in this course, we are going to provide you some notebooks about each session. So how will you be using those notebooks? You'll be getting those notebooks, and you can just press this upload over here, and then you can go to wherever you have saved that notebook and just open it over here. So this way you can use the notebooks which will be sharing with you in the coming sessions. Okay, so this is this option over here. And I recommend that you should create first folder, in order to save all the files which will be sharing with you, or which will be together creating. So I recommend that you should create a hello.
Yeah, Aditi, now we can hear you. Please go ahead.
Yeah. So so let's create a folder. So just go to this new, and in the drop down, you'll be able to see the folder option. Just go there and create a new folder. And then you can see that one untitled folder would be created. At the end, it will be visible to you, because this basically saves everything in alphabetical order. Have you guys created the folder? We can have a show of thumbs.
Yes, the folder is created. Good, awesome. Let's continue, Alti. Yeah.
Yeah. Now you can rename this folder. So just click it over here, and you can see name. You can give any name which you like. So you can give some name like ML training sessions. And then just click rename. Are we through with that?
Just give them a moment, Aditi. So let them do that. Okay, good.
Yeah,
Got
yeah.
a confirmation
Yeah,
from
I'm good.
Jennifer. Others also, please quickly confirm whether you have reached the stage. Yes, you can proceed, Aditi. Yeah.
Okay. So let's open this folder. Now since I have just opened up the folder which I had already created, but for you it should be a blank folder, like nothing should be present, right? So let us create Python file over here. So just again go to this new function, new tab which is there, and then just click Python 3. So this means that we are creating a new notebook with Python 3. So let me create this. Just give a confirmation once you have created a new notebook. So you can intimate me when they are ready.
For the sake of reference, I have shared a material for you in the chat window, the tutorial for Jupyter Notebook, so that you get comfortable with this environment. So just go through that material maybe after the session today, so that you are up to speed. You are very much fluent in using this notebook, because whatever you are going to do, it's going to be in this notebook for the next 6 weeks. So please refer this, please get comfortable.
So are we through? Have we created a new notebook?
Yes, no, thumbs up, thumbs down. Anyone needs time, extra time?
You can also use the chat box.
Yes. Okay, done. If I get 2 or 3 more done, I will continue, boss. I got 2 done now. 3, 4, 5. Yes, Aditi, we can continue. Yes.
Okay. So again, you can rename this file. So here in the file, let's explore this file tab. So here you can see that there are many options over here, and you can rename your file using this option over here. So you can use this and rename your file, add suitable title or the name to your notebook. Session 1. So that afterwards you won't end up with many untitled notebooks. So it's always good that you give a name so that you know what is that notebook about. So you can all add the name to this notebook. Are we done?
Yes, Aditi. Yeah, done.
Okay. Now you can see over here that here you can see there is one rectangular thing over here. So this is actually a cell. Okay. So we are going to write our codes and all in the cell. So you need not write all the code in just one cell. You can add new cells also. Use this plus button to add new cells. Okay. So you can add your we can also have like line to line code written over here, and we can just execute each of these cell. So these are the cells, and also you can insert any more cells if you want. Like if you want to add a particular cell above this particular cell, then you can just go to cell, and here you will see that you can add cells. Like you can add cells above, below. You can also select which cells you have to run. Okay, now let's before this, let's go to this. So when you write a code in your cell, you need to run that, and you can do that in two ways. First one is using this tab over here, run, and the second one is by using some shortcuts. So now default shortcut for running your cell is Alt and Enter. So I just request you to just type print hello world. Type this and just use Alt and Enter to print, to execute this piece of code. So you know, while learning any new programming language, this is like a convention that they start writing or printing "Hello World" first. So let us follow this tradition also. So I request you to just write this, and either ways you can use this tab over here to run this, or you can use the shortcut Alt Enter. Of course, you can also modify these shortcuts as per your convenience. We will see that how to do that, but let us first finish this. So kindly intimate me once all of them have done this.
Yes, I've got confirmation from 2. Yeah, 3, 4, 5. Yes. So now keep trying more things. In fact, Aditi, we need to introduce them to the markdown text and other things also.
Yeah. I'll do that.
And next, try to print I am so and so, your name also.
So let's proceed then.
Yeah, Aditi, go ahead, please.
Yeah, you can do that also. Is there a problem with my connection? Okay. I'm audible, right?
Yes, now, but there is a bit of a signal issue. Yeah.
Okay. Better now?
Yeah, better now. Yes.
Okay. So I was talking about how we can change the key shortcuts. Like if we want to modify the shortcut in order to print this cell, you can do that by going to help. And then here are some options like edit keyboard shortcuts. You can open this and you can add your preferred shortcut. So I usually use Control Enter as my shortcut. But you can add all text, or you can modify this as per your convenience. So you can do this later. Now Now let us understand why Jupyter Notebook is so famous as compared to other IDEs. So first of all, IDE is actually integrated development environment,
Aditi,
which
just
Sir was
one
talking
second.
about. So this is
Aditi,
environment. Yeah.
just 1 second. I'm sorry. So,
Yes, sir.
yes, Aishwarya and Anisha, yes, there is a bit of voice that is getting, I mean, because of the poor signal issues. So that we will address it. And Padmavati has a question like asking you to repeat about the shortcuts thing once again. Can you just repeat it once?
Yeah. Just go to help. And you can see over here that there are some default keyboard shortcuts which Jupyter Notebook has. Okay. So in order to modify these, there is another option over here, edit keyboard shortcuts. So you can go there and then you can modify. You can add any shortcut for the functions which are present over here. Like most of the time we have to use the run cell function. Okay, so in order to speeden up the things, you can add shortcuts. So by default, the shortcut is Alt Enter, but you can modify this if you wish to. So here you can just go and add a shortcut over here. Is the doubt cleared?
Yes, Aditi, you can proceed. Yes.
Okay.
In fact, this shortcut is very much important because while you start writing more lines of code, it is important that you start using the shortcuts instead of executing it and then going up and then run and everything. That's going to create a lot of trouble for you. Okay, so pick up those shortcuts, get comfortable with them so that you're able to execute things faster. Yeah, back to you, Aditi. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I was saying that Jupyter Notebook is very much popular. So one of the reasons why this is very popular is that you can have over here the markdowns. So what are markdowns? Markdowns are actually like while writing the code, you can also write the description about that code, like what is the code is doing, or what is the step which you are doing in order to what is that code about. So you can also add descriptions in your code itself, so that anyone who is having a look at your code afterwards, he can also understand that what are you trying to do, right? So what are these? So how can you? So in order to have the markdown, first you have to convert the cell into a markdown cell. Okay, so that you can do by just going over here. So you see over here that by default it is the code that is written over here. So this means that this cell is about coding. So for code it is the default, but you can drop down and you can see here markdown is there. So just click it. And now this cell has been converted into a markdown cell. So you can add your notes over here, the description about the code. So you can simply add the text over here. So let us say this is the let us say I'm writing, this is the introduction to Jupyter Notebook, and I'll run this. So you can see this is the text or the description that I have added. So in a similar way, you can also do this. You can so if suppose that you have written some line of code in this cell and you want to add or you want to describe what is that code about or what is that code is doing. So you can use uses markdowns to do that. Okay.
See, markdown text is very important from the point of view that when you write large programs with a lot of lines of code, you need to clearly identify what is the purpose of writing that piece of code. You give it as comments, you give it as a description very clearly. Okay, so there are two ways of doing it. Generally, in a programming language, you give it as a comment using some symbols, or in Python, particularly in this notebook, you can create self-explanatory notebooks with the help of this. In fact, the notebooks that we are going to share across in the coming days, you'll be seeing a lot of markdown text as well as the code that will help you to understand why that code is written and how that code is to be executed. So self-explanatory notebooks can be created with the help of markdown text. So can you try and confirm that you have understood what is markdown text and you're able to type and execute it? So what actually happens is when you write this piece of code in the markdown text, the compiler, the interpreter of this programming language considers that it is not a line of code, so it doesn't execute that. When you put it in the form of a coding line, like in 1, 2, 3, whatever you're seeing there, then compiler looks at it as a line of code and it tries to execute it, checks for the syntax and executes that. Okay, that is the basic difference between markdown text and this coding line. Okay, yeah, back to you, yeah.
Yeah, and another way you can add information about your code or description about your code is by hashing it out. So use a hash, and you can also do the same thing, but in the same code. So I can write over here, this is a comment or anything which you want to describe. You can do that by using hash. So this also is considered as something that that need not be run by the Python. So many a times while writing a code, you can also use this hash and write a comment about that code. So if I write something over here, print anything, so you will see that only what the code is, only that gets printed, but not this comment. So this comment is actually for just the description purpose. So in two ways you can add descriptions or some text in your code. So one is using the markdown text and second is using this hash. So just use the hash symbol and then you can write the comment.
Aditi, Nandu has a question, how to delete a cell?
How to delete a cell? See, here
do you want to kill the world now? Nandu, we will do it for you.
You can do this. See, just beside the option to insert a cell is the option to delete a cell. So just use this and it is gone. So I recommend that you should, explore all these functions or all these tabs which are present to know better, to have a better understanding about the interface that Jupyter Notebook has. You can also make use of this help over here, which is ready-made help which are available. So anything about Markdown is available over here, notebook help. So you can make use of these. There are some helps about the libraries also, NumPy, SciPy, Matplotlib. These all are the libraries that will be learning in the coming sessions.
Okay, Nandu has a question, but whatever Aditi has showed across, it's a cut tool to paste it in any other place. Yes, boss. I mean, if you don't paste it, it's a delete, right? To put it in simple terms, Nandu. That's all we are trying to say. Okay. By the way, we will give you.
And you can.
Yeah, please go ahead, Aditi. Yeah.
And you can also use the traditional method of copy and paste. Just select this, get the Control and C. You can copy in the next cell also. Or if you want to delete it, just select it and press delete.
So Padmavati says that there's a delete cell option in edit option. Good, Padmavati. That's the way to explore it. I'm happy that you're doing it. In fact, what I would tell you is, I mean, since it is a shortcut that is directly available, we have just put it across, nothing else. It's easy to cut and replace it. Otherwise, you can go and delete the cell. That's always there.
So you can, as he clearly mentioned, you can use this or paste, you can split the cells, merge, many options are available.
Alti, we'll just give them 2 minutes. Can you
Yeah.
please explore all the options in file, edit, view, insert, and everything? It's going to, we may ask you 1 or 2 questions in the Kahoot. Just explore.
Okay.
If you have any questions, you can ask us, team, like anything you're not able to understand in the options that are existing there in the tab. So try to play around with the text with this whole notebook, get comfortable. Okay. Once you are done, let us know. We will start again. Just 2-3 minutes. Just explore, get comfortable with this notebook. You should know what to do here.
You can also try some calculations. Just write.
Yeah, for now, try the basic operators also, boss. I mean, this is something which is basic sense, right? You would have learned it in this one, plus, minus, multiplication, division. Try different things in the chat window. Try to print, put it across in print also and try to see. Explore, make mistakes. That's the only way to learn.
Always remember that when you have to print any string of words or the text, then you should enclose that within these quotes. But when you have numerics to print, so you need not use that. Or if you use that, it actually tells the Python that it is actually the text. So anything which is text is always denoted with this quotes. So you can also use single quotes over here for that matter. Single quotes or double quotes, anything is fine.
Okay, good. Are you comfortable with all the options that exist in file, edit, view, insert, cell, and everything? Any questions, anything you'd like to clarify? Yes, Nandu, about widgets. What is your question? Okay, so widgets are actually for building interactive. I mean, if you want to connect with multiple tools, softwares, and other things, you use widgets. Okay, it is to build interactive graphical user interface also for your notebooks. Okay, There are a lot of widgets that are available, which you can check it out. Just go and search for jupyter.org/widgets. You'll find a lot of widgets that are available, which you can use it along with your notebook. Okay. So you can explore that, but those are something like what I would say for visualization and other things. You can just put it across for jazzy presentations and other things. So anything on top of the basic tool which you can use as an additional, like Excel plugin, if I have to put it in simple terms. Okay. PowerPoint plugins are available, right? So same way you can have widgets which can be used in your notebook. Okay. Make sense? Okay, good. So what is a checkpoint, Jennifer? You just want to know what is a checkpoint, right? Checkpoint is once you have one second. So you create a checkpoint, you update the checkpoint every time you want to save your progress. So last time when it is saved, it is a checkpoint. So when the file crashes or when the laptop crashes or when the system is restarting, the file will be available till the checkpoint and you will be able to reuse that checkpoint again from there. That is, the code is available till the checkpoint. That is, at that point, it is saved. The file is saved, the state is captured. Just like we have the checkpoint for our operating system. The last saved state to which you can restore the code back. Make sense, Jennifer? Okay, good. So what is the number which is denoted like? See, that's the line of code. How many lines of code you have created? If you have noticed, Vishnu, she deleted some lines. She added some lines. So the number of lines that have been created so far, the lines of code.
Over here.
Yep. Kernel is slightly complicated. We'll come to that, Aishwarya. So don't worry about it now. NB convert, where do you have that? I'm hearing it for the first time.
Yeah, even me. NB convert. Where is it?
I think you're talking about the notebook convert, right? That is converting the notebook to different formats. You can convert it to HTML, PDF. You can do that.
You can save your notebook in various formats.
And by the way, yes, this is something. Thanks for reminding, Aditi. So assignments and other things, if you're asked to submit, you have to save it as IPYNB format. Do you see that? You have to send it as a notebook to us. IPYNB format. Please use that format to send across the notebooks to us. That's the general way to send the notebook so that we can open it in our Anaconda and check out what you have done. Okay. If you send it across in PDF and other things, it may not be of great help. So Nandu, NB convert is nothing but converting the notebook format to other formats. That's all, nothing else. I think that's what you're referring to, I believe. Yeah. Okay, back to you, Alti. Any other questions, folks? Good questions. Thank you. I'm happy that you guys are exploring it. I mean, only when you ask such questions, we feel confident that, okay, we are all heading in the right direction because it's all remote, right?
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, what is a kernel? I will just give a very high-level definition, Aishwarya, just for the sake of, I mean, you have asked the question, I should honor that question. Kernel is more like a compiler. I mean, I hope if you have studied something like C or C++ during the college days, compiler is something which is available for you to run the program, right? Check the syntax and execute it. Kernel is more like the compiler. What it does is it's more like a computational engine that is available. Whatever you write as a line of code, that is not the markdown text, whatever that is given as IN, which you see, that code will be executed by the computer, by the kernel, which is in Anaconda. It executes that notebook and it gives the complete output. See, Aditi is executing it, all the cells. Perfect, Aishwarya. Super. Any other questions, folks? Are you guys with us so far? Have you understood everything? Yes, perfect. Good. I got one yes. Others also yes. Good. Nice, Aditi. We can proceed. Yeah.
Yeah. Now let's do some fun. Okay. Yeah. So in Python notebook, in Jupyter notebook, you can also add pictures. Okay. So this is the code which you can use to add a picture. So you can just download any random picture, or if you have it on your computer, just go to our main homepage and upload that picture over here. So wherever your picture is, just go to that folder and upload it in your folder in this Jupyter. So see, I have already uploaded one picture over here. So if you have picture on your machine, you can do that. Otherwise, you can just Google some picture, download that, and add it over here. These are ways in which you can make your notebook very presentable. So you can add pictures, some headings, like a header picture. You can do all these things.
Yes, see, some of the companies, when they come for hiring, they may ask you to submit some case studies which you execute using notebooks. So when you do that, you can include logos of the companies, you can present it across in a better way and show that you are able to prepare this as a deliverable. Because I mean, many a times what we do is we use Jupyter notebooks as a practice document just by executing the code. But you can actually use it as a deliverable. Look at this one. So you are able to bring in, you're able to use headers and everything, and you're able to run different aspects. Correct? Show that to be very exciting. So bring in any image and try this out. It is not very complicated. So whatever assignments you submit, if you're able to present it in a better format, I think we would really appreciate that, boss. Okay. Just keep these things in mind when you do that. Try this out once. Pick up any image from the internet. Try to upload it in your notebook.
Use this code, like just what I have written. Use this code.
You can put it across in the chat window for easy reference. Yes.
Okay.
From next session, team, we'll be sharing the notebook with all of you so that you can use the notebooks in the class for typing and executing it for reference.
Just change the name of the photo of the picture that you have. So here the name of my picture is machine learning, which is what I have saved. So whatever name you should put that in the single quotes. And you can also adjust the width and height as per your like. So you can change these variables over here. And this 500 was better. How to find errors? Errors in your code? So when you do some error, Python tells you that. So let me just print this out. Okay, I have made an error over here that I have not used the double quotation marks. So see, Python will give you the error, invalid syntax. So then you know that, okay, this is a text and I should add the double quotation marks. Mhm. And then when you rectify it, only then your code will run. Is that what you meant?
No, make a mistake now. For example, Aditi, just remove that
Yeah.
closing quotation marks or something. Yeah. And by the way, folks, one more skill which you need to pick up is when you learn programming language, the important skill that you need is you need to search, you need to Google, you need to find out what that error is. Okay. Never rely on others' help. This is something which I've learned from my own personal experience. And every successful developer is one who can actually do things on their own, Googling, researching, understanding. Okay. Because that's where the learning happens, the real learning happens. Okay. So please do that. That's something which I would request you strongly. First, make your effort. We are always there to help you out. No doubt about it. That's not the problem. But the focus should be more on researching and finding solutions, because that curiosity should be there in the mind of the person who is learning a programming language. Okay. Now, in this case, for example, Aditi removed the quotes. Did you see that where the error was coming in? So the compiler, the kernel was pointing it out like this is where the problem is. Check there. Just come down, Alti, a bit. I mean, I don't know whether I'm the only one. See, there is it's clearly shown that the error is in this place. You need to find that out now. You get that? How to decode, how to debug the error. Folks, are you guys with us? A long silence from most of you, so I'm not sure. So debugging is an art. So you need to do that over a period of time. That's something you will, I mean, that's where the excitement comes in. When you make mistakes and when you resolve them on your own, I don't know, I mean, as a developer, that's a success actually. It's more like creating a new product, right? By you writing the lines of code. Good. Go ahead. Back to you, Alti. Sorry.
Yeah. Now, in this, let us learn something more about the Markdown, like how you can do various formattings in Markdown text. So see here, when I use just one hash, okay, so that becomes my main header. So automatically, the text size for this title will be largest. And then as and how when you add the number of hash over here, the text size reduces. So many a times we need to include the main header, then the subheaders, then the topics. So this can be done using this hash. First, again, of course, you have to convert this cell into the Markdown cell by going over here and doing that. And then you can just try out writing one line with one hash, then two hash, in order to see you see here the text size is reducing. So this is very helpful when you want to have the subheading and the main heading and the topics. So that way you can use this. This is one way of formatting the Markdown text. You can also add bullets by just using the asterisk sign. I'll just wait for you. First, just do this heading thing, like with the different font size, and then we can get to this bullets.
Okay, are we done so far? Team, are you with us? I think Aditi, what else is pending from this part?
Done, sir. We are almost through.
Okay, sure. Completed. We'll have a Kahoot with the students now quickly.
Yeah, yeah. Were you guys able to get the picture in your notebook? Can we have a show of thumbs? Oh, you couldn't get the picture, Jennifer ma'am? Oh, many of you didn't. Why? Just upload the picture to your folder first and then add the name over here. Use the same syntax. It's asking for double quotes. When we type, we don't get. If we copy paste, get it. Okay. But I think this should work. Even if it is working with double quotes as well. How to upload photo? Uh, just uh, just go to your folder and use this tab over here, upload. When you click it, you'll be redirected to your um, to your computer files and all. So you can go to wherever your photo is present and just open it over here, and it will get uploaded. Yeah. You can also sometimes, when you want to, you can use the bold and italic functions. Bold it or use the italics. So when you write, when you use just one asterisk sign before and after your text, then it becomes the italics. And when you use two, like what I have used over here, it becomes the bold. So all these are the formatting syntax, which you can find it online also. And over here also you can, go to Markdown. A page opens up, and all the it is actually a GitHub doc, and here you will find that many things like formatting syntax and all is over here. So you can make use of this also, help to, there are many syntax present over here, so you can use that. So if you want bold and nested italics, then you can use it like this way. If you want only bold, then use double asterisk signs before and after your text. If you want italics, just use single asterisk sign before and after your text. So this all things you can explore, all the formatting styles. So this one we had seen the large, when we have two hash, we have and the smallest heading, you can add it with many hash. Are we done, guys?
Guys, are we here? Are we done?
Line.
Padmavati, how to go back to the image code line once the picture is out? Okay, she has a question, Aditi, how to go back to the image code line once the picture is out?
Picture is out, just double click. Just double click over here. You will get back to the code.
You got that, Padmavati? Perfect. I think we're running short of time for Kahoot. Maybe you can complete this and we'll have Kahoot as the first thing the next session was.
Okay. Or I am almost done, sir. We can have the Kahoot.
Okay.
We have
Sure.
Still, what, 15 minutes left?
Correct, but it generally takes around 20-25 minutes. That's the reason I thought.
Oh, okay, okay.
I have a 9 o'clock hard stop to the other meeting.
Okay, okay.
Okay, if you're done, let me know. Can someone paste the syntax for the picture? I still couldn't get it. Okay, 1 second.
I'll do that.
Yeah, I will take it from the chat maybe. Aditi, you can move to the next one.
Yeah. So as I was talking, you can add single asterisk sign in order to turn your text into italics. So this is one thing, and you can add double asterisks if you want to bold it. You guys can try this. Again, this should be markdown text. Did everybody try this? The bolds and italics?
Yes. Vishnu, as others are trying it, I need a small help, Vishnu. I don't know whether Ram sir is there. I need a small WhatsApp group to be created for us, for all of us. Can you do that, please? So get everyone into the WhatsApp group so that we can share files and everything, additional materials and other stuff in the WhatsApp group and keep it interactive for the next. That can be a discussion forum for all of us. Any doubts, anything when you try. Okay. Super. Vishnu, can you take up that? Who can take up that responsibility? I mean, I know that a lot of you are proactive people. That's why you are part of this program. Who likes to take up this responsibility of creating a WhatsApp group? Vishnu, you can get it from Ram sir, and you can just create it. Sankareshwari, today we may be running short of time for Kahoot. We will do it in the next session. I'm sorry. We just want to complete what we planned, and we'll do it in the next session, Sankareshwari. Hope that's fine. Okay, good. Go ahead, Alti.
Yeah. So coming to the last part, so we can also assign variables to some values. So 5 or any value if you want to give to a variable a. Oh God, what's problem with my net? Am I audible now? Hello? Okay, okay, okay. Okay, so here you can assign certain value to some variables. So let's say we want to assign 5 to A and 3 to B. So just type this first and run this. And then suppose that we want to add these two numbers or these two variables. So, and we have to save the addition or the sum of these two variables to another variable named as C. So in the next cell, you can write C is equal to A plus B. This means that the addition of these two variables would be stored in the variable C. And then you can just print out C to get the result. And also if you want full answers over here, that is text, that is the answer is, this is the text I want along with the answer. So I'll just add a comma over here and then specify my output variable. So I want this C, the value of C to be printed because that is my addition, the sum. So I'll just write this and I will run. So you will see that the string along with your variable value is given as the output. Now you can change any values over here. And then you can run this again. And then you will see that now we have got 50 as the answer since our variable values have been changed. Some questions. Okay, done. Good. You can use some other operator also if you want to just explore. You can use multiplication or division. Just run it again. We will learn about these operators, the variables in detail in the coming lectures, in the coming sessions. But today, just for having some high level idea, let us run this small piece of code. Is everybody able to execute this? Yeah. Yes.